Hello everyone, welcome to 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤. Thanks for tuning into our show today. We are with Glenn Cloarec from L'Oreal and he's hosting us in his L'Oreal Paris headquarters. Welcome, Glenn.
Welcome, Mert, and thanks for joining.
On, again, retail media collaboration with the retailers, because we're sitting down at the end of third quarter or beginning of fourth quarter, every single one of them, for JBP discussions. And can you share some of your experiences and vision about, because JBP discussions are changing as well. Previously we had category managers, now more retailers are bringing their online and offline assortments, catalogs under the same decision maker. And those people are also advanced in terms of terminology, understanding of the media, what can do it for their business. And to your point, it's still two teams in the making on both sides, and JBP meeting is the showdown. Can you share some of your insights and best-in-class recommendations, if you can? What today's JBP discussions are looking like, and what to do to a successful JBP in the light of retail media conversation, because at the end it comes down to media investment request, assortment optimization, the budget, and all the category growth is quite volatile. What are you experiencing? What can you recommend for other CPGs?
Well, honestly, I don't have the full vision on that, and for sure there is different ways of working, probably different CPGs that are already doing super great job on that. I think in my direct experience, what I see evolving very fast now is the alignment on the capacity to understand the shopper, I would say, KPIs, and to define new KPIs in our JBP. If I'm very, I would say, very basic, some years ago our JBP was really focusing on turnover,
Right.
margin increase, potentially a bit of shoppers KPI, but not so much. Now that we are scaling this measurement efficiency also in retail media, but also all the ways of understanding the activation efficiency on the shopper journey, you coming back to much more, I would say, advanced and sophisticated KPIs in terms of shopper understanding, like 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤, average basket, conversion rate, even consumer lifetime value.
Right.
Let's be very pragmatic. Today, I don't think that we have in Europe any partnership where we are able together to build a consumer lifetime value target, but this should be the North Star.
Right.
This should be the North Star. So what I see in my past experience definitely is the capacity to have moved in the past years from this basic business objective to a more shopper-oriented KPI where we work at category level on bringing new shoppers to the category, to conversion rate, to improving the average order value, for example. Au plus haut, for sure. And this is now something that I see more and more from the retailer's perspective, probably the most advanced and the more collaborative in their approach, to say, you have a strong expertise on some categories in beauty, how we could merge a bit of shopper data understanding, building specific audiences, to have a full, I would say, full funnel and always on strategic yearly initiatives. Retail media in the past was really based on managed services, short-term campaigns, not on this long-term, always-on campaign objectives. This is where we need to bring the both expertise, for example, with one advanced French retailers. Today we're really leveraging a yearly plan where we will work together on 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤 category, which kind of specific socio, I would say, demographics people we want to target. Is it Gen Z, potentially not buying makeup specifically on these kind of ages, and where they are already purchasing. This is the full value, I would say, of this advanced partnership, to precise activation and to recruit or to deliver, I would say, additional value with existing shoppers, which is, for me, super interesting and super enthusiastic. I'm very enthusiastic in that. Hope we will scale it. This is why I'm here also, to try to scale.
That's one of the jobs you have. But this is a gray area because, as you pointed out, the KPIs being discussed on a JBP and also KPIs being able to measure pre and during JBP are more compared to a few years ago. But if you can share some crucial KPIs, which you and also your team as a L'Oreal organization able to tie them to business objectives. Because as we all know, some KPIs are very vanity KPIs, sexy to say or really important to show in a PDF, but it's not always impacting business. Which KPIs are you or your team preferring to tie to the business objectives? Okay, this is really impacting our collaboration and top line and bottom line.
I think you're perfectly right, and I will share an example on that. I think some years ago we tried to implement those advanced KPI in a JBP, conversion rate, average order value, and so on. We didn't manage to have a full ways of being successful on that because it was too high level KPIs, and we didn't build the ways of implementing it.
Okay.
Now, if we want to be very concrete, for me, the most important thing, again, in a beauty market where shopper is changing more and more the ways of consuming from O+O on platforms like TikTok, social media, advocacy, influencers.
Of course.
This is the kind of practices that most of our retailers cannot, and they don't have the resource to work on that. The most important one is traffic, is bringing new consumer, and thanks to this organization, we are able to deliver new shoppers to retailers.
Yes.
For example, I think in the last years, with one European retailers, we were able to measure that we brought to them 500,000 new shoppers to the category.
That's massive.
Thanks to innovation, but thanks also to targeted activation. In the past, we were doing mass. Doing mass potentially great, but we clearly saw that the return on invest was just not good. We were investing on shoppers that was already very loyal to our brands and to the retailers. What the point to do that? You could reward your loyal shoppers, but then you do it differently. So moving to mass, to targeted, personalized activation is probably the way to connect it to concrete KPIs.
Yes,
like
business outcome
and average basket. I think this is the most important KPI, where you could track the value that you're bringing to the partners directly.
I love it, and this is definitely coming from someone who held big budgets and big P&Ls in the past.
In the past. Now I'm just the enabler.
All right. Now I want to shift gears a little bit because we covered retail media extensively. Retail media's impact on the retailer brand relationship and the business outcome. Let's delve into a little bit of technology, a little more saucy and hot topics. And everybody's talking about Gen AI, artificial intelligence. We are covering at ecommerce AI use cases around those companies and topics we're talking about. We're not talking about what AI can do 5 years from now, what future will look like. We're talking about today's use cases. That's what I've been researching and sharing a lot. But of course, someone like you coming from strict business perspective, I'd love to hear your opinion about how L'Oreal is implementing AI to impact the business. Because I know beauty tech and other innovations around L'Oreal is creating waves. You're just gathering all the awards in the market. But let's tie a couple of them to business outcome. Where do you see most effective AI use cases in terms of impacting your business and retail media activation today?
Sure. So on this one, honestly, I'm not an expert on AI.
None of us are yet. None of us.
No, but I think the company, and thanks to the leadership also of our CDMO directors across countries and worldwide with 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤, AI for sure gives a lot of opportunities. We are doing, I would say, carefully, I would say, a test and learn approach on that, focusing first on content, for example, so Gen AI for content, and moving also to this capacity to optimize, I would say, personalization at scale.
Right.
But I think from my perspective in terms of business and retail media, there is two big areas probably that we could use this tomorrow. First of all, is when it comes to personalization. We know that this is one of the core, I would say, demand from shoppers. They want and they need personalization in their consumer journey. We have the chance in L'Oreal, thanks to a strong, I would say, robust strategy on beauty and tech, to have built a strong, I would say, powerful beauty tech environment where we work, for example, with some virtual try-on tools. Like
I love it. I got my skincare every 6 months.
And for sure, this is a concrete example when you could really work on that using Gen AI and AI to optimize your personalization journey at core, starting from a virtual try-on to a recommended personalized beauty journey, which product, which routine. The market is so wide, there is so much product, so much, the portfolio is so big that you will need at the end to mix personalization and recommendation with a kind of, I would say, artificial intelligence to support you. So this is a concrete example of how we use it. There is for sure Gen AI for content. Again, when you're talking about personalization, we used to work with massive campaign, TV, leaflet in store. If you want to scale personalized, I would say, touchpoint, then you can imagine the number of supports that you need to deliver and to bring. So if you mix activation and CRM, we clearly need also AI tomorrow to adapt content, to adapt the personalized journey directly to connected to our consumers. So this personalized activation journey is somewhere where probably Gen AI and AI will really support us much more. And after, if I close to the real business part, today we are still having a lot of operational tasks, I think, with all the partners that we are working on. Even if we are moving more and more to much more tech-powered tools, thanks to API, for example, in terms of data sharing, in terms of creation of content, creation of product, forecast accuracy, all these kind of concrete operational tasks tomorrow will be probably supported by AI. But it's also a new chapter that we will love to work with retailers to see how from both sides we could do better business, create value, and having, I would say, human working on creating value together, rather than to do, I would say, operational tasks that today that is really still something that is really, I would say, taking too much time and overload work in our companies.
I will tell you one funny story. When you talk about AI use case in personalization, and I know these virtual try-ons, 3D, VR experiences, I will share my personal experiences. I didn't plan to share this before. It just came up, but really it shows how this virtual skincare scanning works. In the United States, L'Oreal sells Vichy. They don't sell Biotherm. I think it's because of cannibalization. So I used to order my Biotherm products from Biotherm website, and it was shipped from Canada because it's not sold in the US anywhere.
Well, it should be, but
maybe in the future, but today not yet. But then I tried skincare. I said, okay, I'm buying Biotherm products because we're aging, we want an anti-aging product, etc. Let's see what it matches with me. First, it matched me with home catalog, navy, red line. Because navy is my color. I only dress navy in my wardrobe. I said, this is perfect match. Let me use this. Navy home line, for those who doesn't know Biotherm, is for men anti-aging line. I used this for 3-4 months. Then I said, okay, let me run another skincare. Let's see the impact, if there's any improvement. I ran another skincare on AI. And this time I switched me to Aqua for the moisturization. And Aqua is a little bit of teal, light blue color, which is not my favorite. So the reason I'm saying this is, those AI applications for skincare and skin analysis, it's not just giving you cookie cutter advertising for the products to sell or liquidate inventory. It really tracks the progress on your skin, and it personalizes for you, which I've seen firsthand, and I've seen the impact, of course. So kudos to Biotherm, kudos to Beauty Tech Virtual Skincare Solution Developer team. And on the same note, when it comes to retail media, I love the example, by the way, for the content. And I also shared one case study between L'Oreal and one of the L'Oreal's partner in terms of developing content through AI when the L'Oreal shifted from meta text to OpenAI ChatGPT in 2022. And I remember the content team saved over 120,000 hours of website meta tag input. How are you utilizing AI today for retail media campaigns other than the content itself?
So first of all, we are not using it so much because the level of maturity in retail media in Europe is still very nascent. But in the most advanced countries and discussion, I think today the usage could be interesting on two main purposes. First of all, probably the way to buy media. Because for sure this is also the job that is totally revolutionizing themselves. There is so much opportunities now that probably doing the right bid at the right timing is something where we will need probably support. And this is one of the first interesting part. Second one could come also from the segmentation piece. We clearly see it with the different levels of data that we could acquire and we could partner with, from publishers, from D2C, from retailers, from all the kind of data points that you could collect, building audiences and defining those audiences, I would say, in a very more and more sophisticated way, is probably something where AI could really match and help us to find the right audiences, to be in front of which shoppers,
Right.
and that will help us to do all this kind of precise, I would say, activation with our retailers or with our publishers tomorrow. This is the two main areas tomorrow, probably, on top of the content, like I was mentioning on CRM, for example, on newsletters.
Do you have any successful project or any achievement that you wrapped up recently that you can share with us in the retail media and innovative solutions on?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the most interesting project I think that has been created first in France is called One Consumer. One Consumer project is now something that we are scaling worldwide, but focusing in Europe also today, is the capacity, thanks to a clean room, to really onboard all these data sources from D2C, from publishers, from retailers, either into one single ID, which means that in the past we were using different data sources without this capacity of agglomerating, I would say, converging all this data to understand which shopper are you. For example, Mert, if you were having a cardholders, I would say a loyalty card from a retailers, and you were buying on our D2C or buying in another stores, for us, you were three different people and three different buyers. Thanks to this one beauty ID, we managed then to converge all this database into one single ID. So for sure, it's personalized, it's anonymized, but thanks to that, I can understand much more this shopper journey, this incrementality in the way also that we are working through. And this is a tremendous shift. This has been really made possible thanks to Clean Room. Without Clean Room, you cannot build that.
Of course.
So it's our partner today is LiveRamp when it comes to the Clean Room solution, and so we're really super interested in that. I think a second example could be the way that we implementing, I would say, this socio-demographics usage into our database. So it's something that we are working with Kantar. It's called 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤.
Okay.
And thanks to that, we are able, and now One Beauty, I would say, database, we are really able to build very specific audiences at the beginning. And this is something, for example, that some retailers in the past discussion were super interested in, because we have size and we have precision in terms of capacity to create these audiences, to deliver new traffic, new shoppers to our retailers. And this is for me the two massive projects that shifting totally the way that we are building retail media collaboration, because I think we have a lot of value also to bring to our partners, and it's not only a retailer selling their database and their media power, I'm saying, to us, it's more a way to collectively create value together.
I love it because we talk also about this. I hear this a lot in many different circles, many different environments. Sometimes retailer, because of the retail media platform, there is a sentiment in the room that retailer media has the upper hand, or retailer has the upper hand when it comes to first-party data or consumer granularity. But leading brands like L'Oreal in a very drilled down categories like personal beauty care, I think it's even. It's really head-to-head. And I heard collaboration a lot. Yeah, right? I say collaboration a lot too. It's not only you, it's not only me. It's the nature of our conversation. Now, let's become explorers, let's become navigators, and let's look at the horizon. What do you see in the future of omnichannel retailer partnerships with brands? Where retail media will take us in this journey? What do you see happening in the next 4 or 5 years? Couple of pinpoint, maybe personal predictions. Do you have any expectations in the industry, in the market?
So I think it's really a personal prediction. I'm in this discussion with retail media network and retailers since now 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I would have loved that really we're moving faster than that, but but you know, it's long also to transform the organization, to transform. So I think in the coming years, I see 3 big steps. First of all, self-serve and this capacity to have global partners that will be able to scale faster with a large audience and the right inventory. This should come in the 1-2 years to come to set the tone and in front of Amazon, who could be the big partners that will really help to optimize media. So this is coming in 2 or 3 years. After, again, it will come also in parallel, probably, this capacity to rethink our organization, rethink of ways of working with our top partners, probably, or either a smaller partner that are super agile in the ways of working, thinking at the beginning, shopper journey and Ocluso as a way to collaborate at the beginning. So everything should start from shopper insights, strong CMI, strong market understanding. I don't know if it's a prediction of something that is about to be done, but I think moving in the way to collaborate business, to think always on consumer lifetime value and activation together, it's the new ways of working. So siloing this organization in the retailer's environment into our own environment is something that will probably come. I think, again, Amazon is a bit thinking it also, thanks to Flywheel, thanks to how they're thinking also Amazon ads and AMC in their usage. Amazon is a bit showing that. This is how I see it in the coming future years, and where I would say media and activation will be totally integrated into the funnel of the discussion with the retailers. What would be probably interesting to discover and to align at the end is also the capacity to understand the P&L
Of
on both sides, because the lines are becoming much more blurry, for sure. And even on our side, in my discussion, someone had this comment some weeks ago saying, does L'Oreal trade this media and database power? Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
you have the expertise when you have the database, for sure. I think this is something that, so the transformation will totally have a super big impact. I don't know how at the end it will be framed in Europe, but if we think collaboration and shopper first, I don't have any doubt that at the end we will deliver additional value with those partners.
You just unlock another question with your last remark. I'll give you an example of Walmart turning into a technology company, because now, being a retailer, of course, on omnichannel presence in both online and offline, they also started Walmart Commerce Technologies 2 years ago, and I saw them first time 2 years ago here in Paris during Paris Retail Week, and I saw them in Barcelona Shop Talk Europe.
Yeah.
What they're doing basically, whatever they honed and fine-tuned during the last 4 or 5 years when it comes to online fulfillment optimization, buy online, pick up in store, omni-channel fulfillment capabilities, now they're selling this technology to Carrefour and Tesco's of the world because they become technology company. And when you said this request from another colleague of yours or some tech partner of yours that you received, that would L'Oreal be able to open this, do you see L'Oreal beauty tech involvement, all these tech innovations? Do you see L'Oreal also getting into market as a tech company?
Yes, for sure. We are evolving super strongly in the beauty tech environment, thanks to all the latest projects that we had. I think the number of resources and the number also of acquisition that we have, for example, on this tech environment is totally something at the heart of our strategy. So I think this will shape the future. After, we are still consumer-oriented. We are really focusing on building partnership first. But I think what the example that you mentioned, like Walmart, is super interesting. How Walmart has evolved in the latest years. It's framing also the strategy of all the Ocluso partners to grow in a very interesting way. So we never know. What is true is that Asia is still, for example, in our environment, a very inspirational country where today 75% of the market is already e-commerce.
Right.
I don't know where US and Europe will be at the end in 5 years' time. Not sure that we will totally, finally, I would say, follow this model from Asia. But there will probably Ocluso model that will change in the coming years, and I hope we will have the time to reschedule a catch up on that in the coming years.
We will definitely reschedule it. I would love to do it. Glenn, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for this delightful conversation. I learned a lot. And please share your last remarks, observations, and feedback for us and with the audience as we're coming closer to the end.
Thanks, Mert, for the invitation. I think I discussed it before. This ecosystem is transforming themselves super fast. I'm here to support. I'm here also to find this connection. So happy to catch up with all of you in the coming weeks and months to discuss this topic.
Glenn, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Very glad being here. Thanks for tuning into ecommerce. And as you can see, we're meeting all our industry leaders, trailblazers, and the experts in the global digital commerce, retail media, CPG world in person, just to bring the vibe and the synergy, to also interact with each other and also share with you. Until next time, stay ahead of the curve. Glenn, thank you very much for your time.
Ciao, thank you.